Well, you see it there on Truth Social. President-elect Donald Trump gearing up to make a big return to the global stage this week. He'll travel to Paris for the reopening celebration of the Notre Dame Cathedral, shoulder to shoulder with some 50 heads of state and government, including French President Emmanuel Macron. The trip is another sign that President-elect Donald Trump is not waiting until January to launch his new foreign policy. He's already threatened a trade war with Canada and Mexico, and most recently vowed to slap a 100% tariff on major world powers like China and Russia if they try to create new currency. So let's bring in CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady to break down how this could impact our wallets at home. Kelly, should consumers be concerned, my friend?
So yes and no, Reed. Okay, so I mean, look, China is one of our biggest trading partners. You kind of think through all of the different items that you use every day. Electronics, even medical devices, right, come from China in big part. So if you were to see a 100% tariff slapped on those goods and that were to be implemented, companies would have to decide, are they going to pass that cost on to us? And most often they do. Maybe not 100% of it, but still that would be a lot. But on the flip side, there are positives about tariffs that would be good for consumers ultimately. More American jobs here, more domestic manufacturing. If we ever have a supply chain crisis, it would be better to have production in the U.S. Those things take time, though. And sort of, I will broaden out because I don't want anyone to go out and panic buy things that they can't afford just because of the threat of tariffs. The hope ultimately is that this is a negotiating tactic and that what President Trump is looking for from these different countries, they will come to the table and negotiate instead of have that tariff slapped on their goods coming from that country.
Kelly, any idea of a timeline on when these negotiations, this bargaining chip, so to speak, could be used and when we could see the result of this?
So the Canadian Prime Minister and the Mexican President are already in talks with President-elect Trump. So you do see at least them coming to the table. China is a different story, okay? So, I mean, we under the first Trump administration, we did see tariffs slapped on Chinese goods. We saw retaliatory tariffs from China come back at us. So that one, I think we've seen that China is willing to weather some of that pain. That may take a little bit longer, but one of the BRICS nations, which was where that 100% tariff Trump mentioned over the weekend, was South Africa. South Africa has actually come out and said, hey, actually, maybe not so much. So you are seeing a little bit of movement there.
Well, let's stick with the America First plan of President-elect Trump. He's vowing to make U.S. steel strong again. Of course, this much talked about proposal or possibility that this Japanese company could buy that $15 billion takeover of U.S. steel. What impact could that have on the U.S. economy, and what do you see Donald Trump doing? It's also interesting to note that President Joe Biden is against this as well.
Yeah, there's some commonality there, which you don't often see. So right now, this deal is kind of in a 3-month holding period. The two companies need to go and prove to the Biden administration that this deal should go through because, as you said, the Biden administration has been reticent to approve this deal. So the argument for this is that U.S. Steel needs cash. Nippon Steel, a Japanese company, is willing to come in and do that and take that over. The argument against the deal is we don't necessarily want a foreign entity owning such an important part of our supply chain when it comes to steel. I mean, steel, everything from automobiles to defense, it's a very important part of our industry. It's also a lot of American jobs. And so President-elect Trump coming out and saying, look, if this is still in play when I get into office, I'm going to block that. You can see that that very protectionist America First mindset is going to play out in that realm. The other point that I'll mention, Reed, I think is interesting is we have seen President-elect Trump very much promote a low-touch regulatory environment. This is an exception to that perspective when it comes to deal making.
All right, Kelly O'Grady, CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent. Next time I talk to you, I want to ask you about what's going on in South Korea relative to their markets and the declaration of martial law. Perhaps we'll get some more time to talk about that.